And welcome into Mountain Island Charter High School as we have an SCBL matchup with the visiting Lake Norman Copperheads and the home Regulators Baseball Club. I'm Zane Met to the right of me is Gunnar Schroeder, and a good one, two top teams here in the league so far.
Yeah, certainly it'll be a good matchup and maybe a bit of a jersey mix-up. Both of these teams wearing shades of red. So we'll see if that factors in at all.
As the first pitch of the night from Harrison Lombardi is a slider in the zone for a strike. As the former Regulator player Luis Morales is up first for the Copperheads. That's a line to Brandon Gibbs at shortstop. Gets it on a hop for out number one.
And Luis Morales leading the league in batting average. Certainly a great player so far for the Copperheads in the leadoff spot. And made some good contact there, but unfortunately right at the second baseman Gibbs. And a much improved Regulators team should pose a pretty decent challenge for the Copperheads tonight.
So after that Morales ground out, that brings in the DH Will Gray as he watches a slider go by for a ball in the top portion of the zone. One 0, swung on and foul.
Yeah, and Will Gray having another nice season. 7 for 20 thus far on the young season, and he gets moved up to the 2-hole. Has been hitting third so far, but certainly a lot of dangerous hitters at the top of this Copperheads lineup looking to make an early impression.
2-1 to Gray. Good take right there. Moves the count to 3-1. Three-one from Lombardi. Swung on and foul, as that will run the count full.
And Will Gray out of West Virginia Tech.
3-2. Swung on and a miss right there. First strikeout of the night from Harrison Lombardi. Gets Gray swinging on the slider.
A good start here. Those are two really good hitters, and he fooled Will Gray there in a full count. Just went to the off speed there, and perfect timing got him out in front of that one.
And that will bring up the shortstop Isaac Armstrong. Fastball misses high. As we were kind of talking earlier, Gunnar, Armstrong has been one of the premier players in the league so far this season.
Yeah, certainly any East Carolina player taking their talents to the SCBL over the summer is one to look out for, and he's had a pretty good season though so far, and already registered a homer, and was another one of those great players out of East Lincoln High School around this area. So certainly looking to make an impression, and in the 3-hole, he'll be a tough out.
Curveball misses inside from Lombardi. As the last time I got to see Harrison Lombardi on the bump was in a 9-8 Regulators win at Moore Park against the Spinners, and he had a great start in that game and just kept his team in it and looking to do much of the same tonight.
Yeah, and he's heavily relying here on that off-speed, especially like the big looping curveball. He's frozen quite a few hitters with it so far.
Lombardi looks in, comes set, 2-2 on the way. And drop third strike right there. Hertz gathers, throws down to first for out number 3. A 1-2-3 inning from Harrison Lombardi, and 2 strikeouts in the process as we will go to the bottom of the first inning, all knotted up at 0. Back here, bottom of the first inning, we have a 0-0 ball game. As Lombardi sat him down 1-2-3 in the top half, and that brings in the one-hole hitter, Brandon Gibbs, for the Regulators. As Jack Lopez is the pitcher, as that one is bunted down the third base line, but foul. As Lopez, a local boy from Cox Mill High School, and playing his second summer now with the Copperheads. A position player by trade, but getting his second outing on the bump so far this season. Came in relief in a loss to the Spinners earlier this season, and didn't fare too well in that one, but be looking to do better here.
Yeah, certainly not a way that you want to end that game, as he came in for 2 innings but allowed 5 runs, including the critical 2-run homer to Tapton Hensley that really put the game out of reach after they had a 4-run lead twice in those opening innings, but just couldn't keep the Spinners' offense down.
That one swung on by Gibbs, popped up and foul out of play. As Gibbs batting that leadoff spot, and we saw when the Regulators visited the Copperheads earlier this season at Coxville High School, Gibbs stole 2 bags in that game. So obviously a base running threat, and not a guy you want to allow, first off in the lineup, as he's just more than just getting on base. You got to worry about him at first. 2-2 swung on into left field. We start Stavosky camping under it for out number 1.
That's a good start for Jack Lopez, who just wants to try and get these balls in play and let his defense do the rest here early on.
And I'll bring up the shortstop Ryan Hines from Central Connecticut University. Hines sporting the number 1 this summer for the Regulators and playing shortstop tonight. Fastball misses outside. So Lopez working out of the windup. 1-0. Swung on, grounded by Hill at first base, and now take it easy. A self-assisted ground out right there for route number 2.
Yeah, both catchers getting some balls in play early, but haven't yet found the outfield grass. I think many SCBL pitchers would maybe be classified as ground ball guys. You got to make the offense work to put the ball in play, but if they do, you got a decent chance of getting the outs if your defense has a good night.
As from the one game that I've been able to call here this year, the opening game that the Regulators had that walk-off win against the Disco Turkeys, I felt like a lot of balls just died at the warning track here. As this one has popped up into right field, Josh Jones tracking towards the foul line for out number 3. So Jack Lopez says, anything you can do, I can do better. A 1-2-3 inning of his own. It'll be 0-0 going into the top half of the second inning. Back here, top of the second inning, it's a 0-0 ball game at Mount Ellen Charter High School. as the 4-hole hitter Louis Hill steps in for the Copperheads. As Harrison Lombardi out for his second inning of work. He had 2 strikeouts in the last 2 batters of the inning. A swing and a miss right there from Hill, and Lombardi now 1 strike away from 3 straight Ks.
And it's been working quickly here, kind of getting these Copperheads hitters off guard so far.
Swung on, and that's going to be the shortstop. Ryan Hines makes a diving play, but gets out of the outstretched glove. A leadoff single for Louis Hill.
And for a guy who's had 3 hits through his first 10 at-bats, that's another nice piece of hitting. It's always nice when your cleanup guy and your leadoff man in any inning can get on. And now Staborski looking for his first hit of the season after making his season debut last night.
Yeah, Staborski, a late addition to the Copperheads this summer. And playing left field. Fastball outside portion of the zone for a strike. We see Hill being held on by DiBaggio at first base. 0-1. Swung on and foul. Let's take it to the Regulators field. Cooper Hertz at catcher, and your corner infielders are Trey Hernandez at third and Jake DiBaggio at first. Brandon Gibbs at second, Ryan Hines at shortstop. Going into the outfield, Daniel Schulte in left, Ryan Pruitt in center, and Michael Perry in right field. And those are your fielders for the Regulators Baseball Club tonight. 0-2 on the way. Swung on, that's in the right field. We see Perry going back, camping under it for out number 1.
A lot of hard hit balls thus far for this Copperheads lineup, but just really have not been able to get the ball down. It's either been a fly out or some strikeouts as well. And Harrison Lombardi has done a good job so far at just making the right pitch at the right time.
Well, and Gunnar, we saw a lot of that, and I saw a lot of that, and that's in his start against the Spinners earlier this year, as that he would allow runners on early in the inning, get out of jams, and the Spinners would have hard hit balls, but it would just be right to his fielders behind them.
And that's probably going to have to be the approach tonight against the Copperheads lineup. They've got a lot of guys that can really hit.
As Matt Goldsich was fooled on the 1-0 curveball. One count, 1 out in the inning. It's a 0-0 ball game here in the top half of the second inning. Swung on, left field. Perry going towards the line for out number 2.
And again, hard contact, but nothing to show for it. Lombardi's been doing a great job, and now in a 2-out situation, there's a lot less pressure on you than if you're facing a man on and 1 out.
As Lombardi allowed that leadoff hitter Louis Hill to reach base, back-to-back pop-outs brings up Josh Jones with 2 outs here in the top half of the second inning. First pitch to Jones, and that's a fastball taken.
Yeah, Josh Jones, another one of these guys that pitches and hits for this team and had a great performance out of the bullpen, leading to that 2-1 win over the Corn Dogs last week with the 3 shutout innings out of the bullpen.
So Lombardi comes set, 1-1 on the way. Fastball misses high, runs the count to 2-1.
And it's always interesting when you have a player from another country, as Josh Jones is a native of Blainville, Quebec, up in Canada. But he's made a big impact after coming over from North Greenville down in South Carolina.
2-1 from Lombardi. And that's a take right there from Jones, runs the count even. So lots of 2s to go around. 2-2 count, 2 outs in the inning here in the top half of the second inning. Runner will be going. That swung on by Jones. Chopped to Hernandez at third. Throw across the diamond for out number 3. As after Lombardi allows the first hitter of the inning to reach on base, 3 straight outs, and that gets Lombardi out of a little bit of a top half of the second inning jam. 0-0 game. Regulators now batting in their 4, 5, 6 batters. Bottom of the second inning on tap. And we'll see Michael Perry up for the Regulators. First pitch slider in there for a strike from Jack Lopez. And Gunnar Lopez didn't have a great affair his first time out on the bump this season, but looking good so far, getting through the 1-2-3 batters in the first inning.
Yeah, I mean, he had 2/3 of an inning and didn't allow a run against the Corn Dogs yesterday, but it may have just been preparation and a bit of a blowout loss. They fell 11-2 down at Charlotte Latin to the Corn Dogs. But before that, took the only loss of the season thus far he's had in that game against the Spinners, the rain-delayed outing on June 4th, where he allowed 5 runs in 2 innings, but looking to get back on track here.
That one chopped back to Lopez. Easy play as he's a natural infielder on the bump tonight and gets the chopper for out number 1.
He's done a good job of putting the ball on the ground so far. And that's going to be the key for him tonight, is if he can just keep the ball mostly on the ground. You've got a lot of guys who spent last year at East Carolina, and Luis Morales leading the league in batting average. They're also excellent fielders down there, but Morales moving over to third base this time to accommodate for Armstrong.
2-1 count now. Pitch on the way from Lopez. Swung on, and that's to Morales at third base. Easy does it right there for out number 2. As it's called the hot corner for a reason.
Yeah, a little bit of bad luck there for the first baseman, Jake Badaglia there, but as we were just talking about Luis Morales' fielding ability, he makes a nice play there.
So Lopez sits down the first 5 batters of the night, and now bring in the left fielder, Daniel Schulte. 1-0 from Lopez. And good take right there. Lopez looks in, 2-0 on the way. Fastball, upper portion of the zone for a strike. As this is one of 3 games on the SCBL calendar tonight, as the Spinners travel out to Albemarle to play the Wampus Cats, and the Concord A's go to the Statesville Owls at West Sourdale High School. So this one of 3 games tonight, and then we look ahead to Friday night, another 4 games, so all 8 teams in the SCBL will be in action on Friday night.
Yeah, certainly an exciting week, and this is where it really starts to ramp up for these teams. After a few weeks to get acclimated, now is really the time to dial it in if you want a chance at that showcase for the NACSB up at Liberty.
As that fastball coming right at us. As gotta readjust the camera after that one.
Yeah, the chain link fence saved me personally right there, and the glass as well.
Daniel Schulte from Florence Darlington Technical College. Florence Darlington was one of the better JUCO programs, make it all the way to the JUCO World Series. As he watches ball 4 go right past him, and Florence Darlington, what a run they made this season, all making out to Grand Junction, Colorado, and almost made it all the way. Was one of the final teams remaining in the JUCO scene this year.
And Schulte had a good first game against the Athletics back on May 31st. Had the double for his first hit of the season. Gets on base there as well.
And that brings in Ryan Pruitt, the center fielder. Shows bunt and pulls back wisely.
Yeah, and Pruitt's been another nice fielder out there in the outfield. He's had quite a journey to this point, coming from Trophy Club, Texas, then going to Yavapai College over in Arizona, and then he comes all the way over to North Carolina.
And another thing to add to his journey, he's going up to Indiana State to play ball next year, as that one is roped down the right field line. That ball is going to get down, run in front of Josh Jones, as Schulte will round 2 and be going 3. No play at third, so runners on the corners, 2 out. Good piece of hitting right there from Pruitt.
Yeah, I believe you said before he was one of the top junior college players, so certainly showing why he earned that commitment to Indiana State, who made the tournament this year, placed unfortunately for them in the Lexington Regional against the number 2 Kentucky Wildcats. It didn't make it out of there, but certainly a program on the rise. We'll have to find a new head coach.
There's a strike right there to the third baseman, Trey Hernandez. So Schultz at third, Ryan Pruitt at first. It's an 0-1 count, 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning. As the off-speed miss is way high. One. That one swung on in the center field. Connor Welker getting under it. And that'll be caught for out number 3. So Lopez sits down the first 2 batters of the inning, allows 2 runners on and 1 in scoring position, but gets out of a jam. Top half of the third inning on the way. It's a 0-0 ball game. Third inning, as the bottom third, 8, 9, 10 due up for the Copperheads, and that brings in the EH Cody Spillman. As that one is to the second baseman, Brandon Gibbs fields it for out number 1.
Yeah, both pitchers wasting no time here and attacking these hitters early in counts, and only 2 hits for both teams so far.
As Jacob Painter from West Virginia State University digs in with 1 out now in the inning.
Yeah, and quite a few guys in this lineup at the bottom of the order in particular that really looking to get their season going offensively. Painter, one of them, just 1 hit on the season so far in 14 appearances, or 14 plate appearances.
1-0, that one down the left field line. That ball's going to get down right in front of Schultz. As a hard hit ball from Painter, and that's the second hit of the evening for the Copperheads.
Yeah, a nice piece of hitting by Jacob Painter. Looked like he maybe waited on the off speed a little bit in that situation. Done great work on the mound too for the Copperheads. Only has a 1.92 ERA and 4 2/3 innings on the bump.
As now Connor Welker digs in for the first time tonight. Curveball from Lombardi misses high.
And Welker mostly featuring as the part-time center fielder for the team. Also only has 1 hit on the year.
Runner will be going. And the throw down to second base gets him. As the arm from Cooper Hurt showed off here in the top half of the third inning, as Jacob Painter will have to go back to the dugout.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you don't want in that situation. We've seen many times it's pretty easy to steal a base if you can get a good jump, but there are certainly some catchers in the league that have a good arm, showing off why catcher's the hardest position on the diamond there. Have to be extremely aware in all situations, and he did a good job there. Perfect throw.
As we've seen a lot of great aggressive base running so far this season from the Copperheads, and maybe got a little too aggressive right there. Now Lombardi 1 strike away, misses high.
Yeah, Welker started the season 1 for 9 in the box. This would be a great time to keep the inning alive if he can.
Strike 3 looking right there from Connor Welker. The third K of the night from Harrison Lombardi gets him frozen on the curveball. So bottom third coming soon here from Mount Island Charter. Stick with us on the SCBL YouTube channel. Braden Moore digs in now for the Regulators. And the first pitch of the bottom of the third inning is a high fastball for a ball. 9-10-1 due up for the Regulators. And I gotta say, Gunner, Jack Lopez has impressed me so far on the bump tonight.
Yeah, he's done a good job at bouncing back, and a lot of these guys who are usually position players maybe asked to help on the pitching side. Maybe certainly have the velocity, but it's just a matter of picking your spots. We'll see if he can keep this good start going. He is behind 3-0 here.
Gets a much-needed fastball for a strike right there. Three-one count now. Swung on, that's to Armstrong at second base, caught on a rope for out number 1. As Gunner, that's the second hard hit ball of the night we've seen to that left side of the infield. First time Morales caught it on a line, and right there Armstrong did.
Yeah, a lot of hard contact thus far. You kind of live with that if you're Jack Lopez. Thankfully, Isaac Armstrong has the range to come over and make that play look pretty easy.
This will be interesting, Gunner, that after all this hard contact the first time through the order, we'll see if that hard contact results in base hits the second time through the order. As the last man to face Jack Lopez for the first time tonight is up, Luke Reichert. Strike right there, and Reichert kind of used as a second leadoff guy batting in that 10-hole slot. A very speedy player.
Yeah, and has done a good job thus far. Some limited action, and last week had a 2-hit week out of 8 at-bats. Maybe he wants to cut down on the strikeouts a little bit, as he did strike out in the other 5 of those 6 at-bats that did not result in hits.
Yeah, and just struck out right there. So first 2 batters down in the inning, and now all things up to the leadoff man, Brandon Gibbs. We see Morales at third, aware of the bunt threat, creeping in a little bit as Gibbs showed bunt his first time up, but went foul. Swung on and fouled. One count now, 2 outs in the inning. Lopez shakes off the first, likes the second one. And that's a curveball right to Morales at third base. Fires it across the diamond, and that will be out number 3 right there. So another 1-2-3 inning from Jack Lopez. Sits down Brandon Gibbs. Top half of the 4th inning on the way. It's still a scoreless ball game here in Mount Island Charter High School. Lombardi back on the bump for his 4th inning of work. And that brings in Luis Morales. Fastball misses low. And Lombardi has been a reliable source of just, getting through innings so far this season for the Regulators, and we see it yet again tonight.
Yeah, he's done a great job thus far at limiting what's been a really good Copperheads offense. Maybe a little bit top-heavy, as we see.
That one
just
poked.
Foul, yeah.
Just foul, I mean. If that one would have got down, that's a stand-up double right there from Morales, you have to imagine.
Yeah, only would have been his 2nd extra base hit of the season. He does have 12 hits on the year and obviously leads the league with a .500 average. But 11 of those have been singles, so he's the perfect leadoff guy if you want a guy that's going to make contact. And he's certainly done that. Limited the strikeouts as well, just 5 to 4 walks.
As that one will get past Bajagio at first base. And a leadoff single from Luis Morales doing what he does best, and that's get on base, Gunner.
Yeah, the average rises back to 500 after that one. Didn't have the greatest of nights last night against the Corn Dogs. Had 1 walk, but was 0 for 3. Broke that hitting streak of 6 games he had amassed before that. So a nice way to get back in the hit column with that one. Just kind of drove it the other way.
As we saw him poke a ball the other way for his first pitch, then got a single right there. As Will Graydon out for the 2nd time tonight. Lombardi looks over at Morales at first base, being held on. 0-1. Fastball just misses right there, runs the count even.
Yeah, Will Gray, another one of these guys that's done a good job thus far. 7 for 21 on the season.
1-1. Swung on by Gray, as that's back up to Hines. 6-4, and they'll get the 3. A textbook 6-4-3 double play. Ryan Hines to Brandon Gibbs, and then to Jake Bajagio at first base.
Yeah, that's some unfortunate luck there. Gray did put a good swing on it, but the double play depth means Hines and Gibbs are in the right spot to turn that one.
And now bring up Isaac Armstrong, and it feels like anytime the Copperheads can get a runner on base tonight, they just go right back to the dugout. Might be base running errors or just a double play just like that.
Yeah, certainly so. And this is probably their most dangerous hitter up, Isaac Armstrong. It's a shame that they did ground into that double play, because I think Armstrong really does have the ability to drive runners in. Already has 4.
And now Lombardi with an 0-2 count. And almost gets Armstrong looking right there on a curveball.
Yeah, really close.
Kind of a dangerous 0-2 pitch to put right there. Relatively close to the zone, but nonetheless gets away with it. Fastball is fouled off.
Yeah, 7 for 24 in the season, but has 4 doubles and a homer so far, so certainly can put the bat on ball in a powerful way.
1-2 from Lombardi. That one popped up and behind for a foul ball.
Yeah, it looked like he was ready that time on the off speed. We've seen him lay off of that looping curveball that Lombardi tends to throw.
1-2 once more, as that one is skied into center field. Ryan Pruitt going back towards the track for out number 3. So after the double play from Will Gray and the pop out from Isaac Armstrong, Lombardi keeps rolling on the bump. It'll be a 0-0 ball game, bottom half of the 4th inning on the way here on the SCBL YouTube channel. Bottom fourth inning on the way. It's a 0-0 ball game, and been a pitcher's duel so far, Gunner.
Yeah, certainly has, and maybe a bit of an unexpected one. Jack Lopez didn't have the best outing 2 outings ago. Had a decent one last time, but I was certainly interested to see how he'd fare in more of a starter role instead of maybe a bullpen role as he's been so far. See if that maybe built his confidence a little bit. It appears it maybe has so far.
That one popped into left field, and easy does it for out number 1. Ryan Hines now goes to 0 for 2 on the night.
Yeah, quite a few flyouts, but nothing enough to really challenge Jack Lopez thus far.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan Pruitt with the only hit of the night so far for the Regulators. As Lopez has been calm, cool, collected, working out the windup all of tonight, as that one is to the second baseman, Jacob Painter. Fielded, tossed over to Hill at first base, and Lopez keeps rolling on the bump. As kind of interesting to see Lopez rolling the second time through the order. You think after all that hard contact the first time up, the Regulators might be able to piece him up a little bit more, but all this hard contact just going right to infielders and outfielders.
Yeah, he's really has the stuff to maybe, especially after that guys at first and third jam he got out of. Guys have really been hunting the first pitch. They've been making contact, but not heavy enough contact to really damage him quite yet.
As we see Perry hunting for the first pitch high fastball, but misses. That one chopped down the third base line, foul. And now Lopez 1 strike away from yet another scoreless inning. So Lopez digs back into the rubber. 0-2 on the way. Fastball fouled off. So we'll try the 0-2 once more. Fastball, swing and a miss right there from Jack Lopez. And his second strikeout of the night ends the 4th inning. So a stalemate 0-0 ball game going to the top half of the 5th inning. Top half the 5th inning on the way as we see Louis Hill first pitch swinging, as he is one of only 3 Copperheads to record a hit so far tonight.
Yeah, did a good job his first time up, just made some good contact on an off speed.
It looks like the umpire asking for that Regulators dugout just to make sure they're staying in there. As Lombardi has done everything the Regulators have needed from him so far tonight.
Just a matter if he can keep it up now.
As that one is popped up into foul ground and out of play. Not much foul room to work with here in Mount Charter High School, and a lot of balls lost into that forest behind us. As you got to imagine at least like six balls a game are just into the forest permanently.
Yeah, certainly. If you go out there with a bucket, you may not have much luck.
0-2. That one popped up once more, and
looks like
foul.
Louis Hill just contributed twice to that. Or may have just stayed.
0-2 from Lombardi now. Swing and a miss, drop, third strike. That gets past Hurt. Lombardi hustling down the first base line, and he's going to get there in time. Good hustle right there from Hill. And the leadoff batter in a very unconventional way.
Yeah, really anything you can get in this situation now I think is crucial for the Copperheads. And now Staborski, another chance at his first hit.
As the Copperheads have had base runners tonight, just haven't been able to do much with them so far. Swing and a miss right there. So Lombardi checks at Hill at first base. 0-1 on the way. Good swooping slider. As the Regulators currently sit at 5-2 on the season. And in second place in the standings, and the Lake Norman Copperheads 4-5 after a little 2-game skid.
Yeah, both of these teams kind of fighting for maybe the second place title thus far. The Spinners have been an easy first, but Regulators in particular have been very surprising this season after just 4 wins last year.
As the Copperheads, they started off 2-0 on the season and now 2-5 in their last 7.
Yeah, I've run into some tough teams, particularly the Spinners, who beat them twice.
And the Regulators, who have beaten them once in that little 7-game stretch.
Yeah, Staborski looks like he didn't really like that call too much by the umpire, but behind the plate, he believed it to be just enough of the plate on the outside corner to get the strike. So Staborski is down, and now that's 4 strikeouts for Harrison Lombardi.
And a second in a row from Lombardi. That one misses outside, and Matt Goldsich up for the second time tonight. He popped out his first time up.
As I have seen a stat of a certain pitcher in the league, I can't remember who it was, but they had 5 strikeouts on 1 1/3 innings pitched, and you wonder yourself, well, how can that be if he's only faced what appears to be 4 batters and got 4 outs? Well, the drop third strike happens, and it just happened here as Louis Hill made it onto base. So technically he actually does have 5 strikeouts, but only 4 of them counted towards his outs.
It's kind of a shallow backstop, and the padding behind the plate really doesn't fare well to a bounce back for the catcher.
And still made a good throw, though. Cooper Hertz got to the ball. He just a little bit late.
The 3-1 now from Lombardi. Swung on, that's in the right field as that ball's going to get down for a hit. Louis Hill will have to stay at second base as he had to hesitate to make sure that ball gets down. But now 2 runners on for Josh Jones.
Yeah, much overdue hit there for Goldasich, who was 1 for 15 going in through that one. Hadn't gotten a hit since the 5-4 win against the Owls back on June 1st, but finally rewarded with some hard contact there.
So Hill at second, Goldsich at first, and Jones' first pitch swinging. Looks like Hill's going to tag up. That one is caught by Perry in right field, and Hill decides to stay at second base.
Yeah, great throw there from Perry. He was all the way over towards the right field line, but just got enough of that one, and Hill thinking better of it to try and go for third. It was a great throw to the cutoff man, Hines, who maybe would have made a nice play to Hernandez for the out.
And now the EH Cody Spillman steps in, rounded out his first time up, and a good chance to drive in the first run of the evening for either side.
Yeah, Spillman not featuring in last night's loss to the Corn Dogs. Opened his season with 2 hits and 4 at-bats against the Owls, but still looking for his 3rd hit of the season. Is 2 for 14 so far, if you include the ground out from the first time he came up.
As that was a nasty slider right there from Lombardi. Up 0-2 in the count, now 1 strike away. Big looping slider, misses high.
Yeah, good job by Spillman there to stay alive in the count. But in a 2-strike count, it's tough to really barrel a ball, as most of the pitches are going to be chase pitches at this point.
You see Hill dancing over there at second base. Lombardi fires home. That one chopped foul.
Yeah, as you just saw, went after one inside and did foul it off, but it was really on his hands.
Yeah, that one looked like it hurt right there.
Certainly might be feeling that one.
So the 1-2 once more from Lombardi. And Spillman fouls it off again.
Lombardi really hasn't been challenged too much by this Copperheads lineup thus far, and I believe that's the first runner in scoring position that's gotten to that point, as the steal attempt was cut down by Hertz earlier.
Lombardi fires the 1-2 home. That one was a hanging curveball, popped up kind of into no man's land. But we see Ryan Hines going over it for out number 3. So 2 runners on for the Copperheads, but they can't capitalize. And it'll still be a 0-0 ball game going to the bottom half of the 5th inning here on the SCBL YouTube channel. Back here, bottom 5, as the pitcher duel continues. And Jack Lopez gets ahead with a first pitch slider. 5, 6, 7 due up for the Regulators. And yet another slow off speed right there from Lopez in the zone.
Yeah, really has gotten the looping curveball to drop in consistently for strikes.
Ball in the dirt. After 3 straight off-speed pitches, you have to imagine he's going to go back to the heater here, Gunner.
Yeah, we'll see if Badoglia goes hunting for it.
He does get the heater. That one bounced to the second baseman. Painter fields it on a hop for out number 1.
Yeah, really execution not been the best for both of these teams offensively, have probably found the pitches they're wanting, but haven't been able to get much elevation on them. And yet again, another ground out for Badaglia right there.
And now Daniel Schulte up. He walked his first time up, and one of the rare base runners we've seen tonight for the Regulators. Lopez looks in, 0-1 on the way. And Lopez just pounding the zone with strikes right now, especially in this inning.
Yeah, really attacking the hitters here. They haven't really been able to do much, especially against the guy he walked last time. You don't want to do that once again.
As the 0-2 misses outside, so now make it a 1-2 count. As that one is lined into left field, and that ball is going to get down. So Daniel Schulte will reach base safely for the second time tonight.
Really been their only consistent offensive threat up to this point. But maybe that ignites a little rally here, especially with Ryan Pruitt coming up, who singled his first time up.
As Pruitt tees off on the first pitch, Painter will bobble it and won't be able to get the out at first base. As Pruitt shows off why he's playing center field tonight with the speed down the first base line, and Pruitt reaches safely on an error.
Yeah, that's a one Painter will definitely want to have back, and that could have been a double play to maybe end the inning here, and now you put your pitcher in a tough spot here against Trey Hernandez.
Hernandez first pitch swinging into right field. That ball is deep. Josh Jones tracking back towards the wall, and that ball is gone. A 3-run bomb for Trey Hernandez, and it was a shutout game before, now make it a 3-0 game. As Jones definitely made an attempt at a diving play and couldn't keep that one in the ballpark.
And what a shot from Trey Hernandez. Takes a fastball, it looked like the other way. We've seen that a lot tonight. The ball going the other way, but this time he gets the perfect amount of elevation on it. And what was a great start for Lopez has kind of unraveled here a little bit, and certainly will be ruining that error as that one hits Braden Moore.
So things go from bad to worse for Jack Lopez as allows a 3-run jack and then hits Moore right in the shoulder. As we do see some activity in that Copperheads bullpen. Just something to keep an eye on. And I feel like this is a good mound visit right here from Goldis. It's just calming down Lopez on the bump, especially after those last two pitches we've seen.
This is a good spot to really reset, I think, if you're the Copperheads, and really just try and focus on getting those last two outs, and then it may be a new ball game if you can get to this Regulators bullpen and get some pressure on Harrison Lombardi.
So the mound visit breaks, and we'll see Luke Reichert up for the Regulators as one of only two guys that struck out so far tonight. So we'll see after Lopez gets a breath, and actually he might get a longer breather as we'll see Noah Jarrett, the pitching coach for the Copperheads, come out and have a chat with Lopez now. Maybe try to buy more time for whoever that is warming up in the bullpen. As with this mountain visit, a good reminder, if you're watching us here on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to the SCBL YouTube channel and turn on those post notifications to be alerted anytime we go live. As on Friday night, we'll be broadcasting the Lake Norman Copperheads home game, and we'll have a plethora of games coming in the later stages of the season. And follow us on Instagram and Twitter. That's at SCBL Baseball on both Instagram and Twitter. As interviews, final score post, and much more on the Instagram. So Lopez does remain on the bump. And Braden Moore being held on by Hill at first base. Slider misses high.
This is the big turning point, I think, at this inning. When you're down at the bottom of the order, it's probably going to be a little bit easier to get some outs once you go back to the top of the lineup. Even though none of the top 5 hitters for the Regulators have gotten any hits or been on base at all, you want to stay away from those guys. They certainly have the capability to go deep.
As Lopez now on a 2-1 count. Maybe showing some signs of fatigue with him missing the zone as of late. Fastball, that one line, and that'll be past Armstrong at shortstop. And now 2 runners on with 1 out in the inning.
This game has turned around very quickly.
And the lineup card will flip over. And Brandon Gibbs now digs in for the 3rd time tonight. And I think that's all she wrote for Jack Lopez, and looks like it is. So Lopez will step off the bump, and besides allowing that 3-run home run, pretty much had a spotless night tonight.
Yeah, really did have a pretty good night. Unfortunate that it ended the way it did with that home run, but I think he showed some much improved stuff, and especially those first 4 innings did a great job to just keep in rhythm, but just got a little off balance, and it cost him after that error.
So the Copperheads are going to take a break, and we're going to take a break along with them. We'll let the new pitcher warm up. 2 runners on base, 1 out in the inning. It's a 3-0 Regulators lead. We'll be back in just a moment. As 2 runners on base, 1 out in the inning. And the Regulators have already put up a 3 spot here and looking to do more damage. As Brandon Gibbs up for the 3rd time tonight. As Connor Pohl is the new pitcher into the game for the Copperheads and makes the count even at 1-1.
Yeah, and has appeared in 1 game thus far against the Concord A's. Only allowed 1 earned run, but did allow 3 in total in 2 innings. Also had 3 walks. Functions mostly as a first baseman type. And has had a decent season at the plate so far. He's 8 for 21. So with a 381 average, has certainly done good things on the offensive side. Now looking to do some things on the defensive side.
1-2 swung on by Gibbs and foul. Looks like the ump saying yet again to make sure the Regulators are in their respective home dugout. 1-2 on the way from Paul. Swung on by Gibson to center field right at Connor Welker for out number 2. As a very hard hit ball right there from Gibbs, but just unfortunate right at the center fielder Welker.
Yeah, big momentum shifter there, I think. If you're the Copperheads, getting that big second out now anywhere plays. And now facing off against Ryan Hines.
Another guy that has not gotten a hit tonight. As you mentioned earlier, that 1 through 5 slot for the Regulators yet to get on base. Very surprising, especially for a Regulators team who's been one of the better offenses in the early stages of the season.
Yeah, and really hasn't gotten on base too much. He's 2 for 8 on the season coming into tonight, and 0 for 2 on the night tonight.
As the 1-0 fouled off.
Yeah. Also didn't really feature in that game against the Copperheads, it looks like.
1-1 now from Paul. That is swung on to the third baseman. Morales fields it, flips it over to second base for out number 3. So Connor Paul comes in with 2 runners on base and gets out of the inning, with the Regulators put up a 3 spot by way of Trey Hernandez 3-run jack. Top half of the 6th inning on the way here at Mount Island Charter High School.
Back here for the top of the 6th inning. As Harrison Lombardi out there for his 6th inning of work and has fired 5 scoreless so far for Regulators team that has been a surprising out in the SCBL this season so far. 5 wins already in their first 7 games, just 4 all of last season. As Lombardi gets to work against the second baseman for the Copperheads, Jacob Painter. Singled his first time up for his 2nd hit of the season. Now looking to get a Copperhead rally started here in the 6th inning, trailing 3-0 here at Mount Island Charter High School. The 1-1 pitch swung on. It looked like he went back to the off-speed there and fools him there. Now a 1-2 count.
Has gotten an interesting development out in Albemarle. The Wampus Cats up 6-1 on the Mooresville Spinners in the top half of the 3rd inning, as the Spinners have been the premier team so far this season. Wampus Cats with a disappointing year so far, only sitting 2nd to last and now up with a big 6-1 lead.
Let's keep an eye on those games as this 2-2 is popped up on the infield. Calling for it and making the catch is the pitcher Lombardi. And a quick first out here in the top of the 6th.
Those can be a tough one sometime. I mean, we saw in the game that these 2 teams played last time at Coxville High School, the Copperheads had an easy pop fly in the infield to get themselves out of the inning, dropped it, and that led to a rally by the Regulators. But good communication right there from the infield, and out number 1 goes down by way of a pop out.
And now the center fielder, Welker. Struck out looking his first time up. 1 for 10 on the season and looking to make an impact in the batter's box. As Luis Morales, the shortstop, due up behind him. Usually playing shortstop, but playing third base tonight, as a matter of fact, as Isaac Armstrong is the shortstop for tonight. Works ahead 2-0 here of Lombardi. And holds off on that one for ball 3. Harrison Lombardi only allowed 4 singles tonight. No extra base hits and just one man beyond first base, as this one's grounded in a 3-0 count foul.
Yeah, Welker, one of the couple Pfeiffer University guys you'll see in this roster. There's a lot of Pfeiffer ties run deep with the Copperheads, as the pitching coach for the Copperheads is also a coach at Pfeiffer and a former player there as well.
3-1 pitch, swung on and fouled. Waited on that curveball, but didn't get quite enough of the barrel on it. So instead, the count runs full.
As you see, Welker kind of earlier on the slider right there will be interesting. Does Lombardi speed him up right here or go double down on the off speed?
Lombardi ready with the payoff pitch is high. And Connor Welker aboard with a 1-out walk. And now Luis Morales back up for his 3rd time around. Singled his last time up for his 13th hit of the season. Now number 13 looking for number 14. Welker stands on first with 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning. As he breaks for second, but a foul ball back behind home plate by Morales means Welker will have to make the jog back to first.
Yeah, I mean, Welker with no stolen bases so far in the season. I mean, not many times he's been on base to, kind of steal a bag so far this year, but trying to show off the legs and move into scoring position for Morales.
Yeah, and for the Copperheads, certainly you want to be aggressive at this point, trailing 3-0. Only having about 11 outs left to work with over these final 4 innings. 0-1 for Lombardi, low to Morales. Morales, a junior at Sterling College, and is a returning Copperheads player after last season. 1-1, Welker breaks for second, but once again, Morales fouls that one off. So the stolen base attempt null and void. Now a 2-strike count for Morales, who looked to put it in play in a potential hit-and-run situation here. The 1-2 held off on a good off-speed pitch. Morales did not chase.
Yeah, that's a really tough pitch to lay off, especially in a 1-2 count. And Morales showing off where he has that 500 average right there.
Lombardi's 2-2, also outside. Hertz came up firing, looking like he might try to throw down to first to get Welker, but Welker back in time. And now, a full count to the leadoff third baseman, Morales. 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning and a 3-0 Regulators lead. Pitch is low for ball 4. So Luis Morales aboard for the 2nd time tonight. And 2 walks now bring up Will Gray, the DH. And that looks like it'll be the end of the road for Harrison Lombardi, who up to this point fired 5 1/3 innings of no-run ball, but will be responsible for both of the runners on. When we come back, the Regulators will have a new pitcher. Still a 3-0 lead here for the home team when we come back. As it appeared to be before we left here in the top of the 6th inning, a change on the pitcher's mound, but it looks like Lombardi will stay out there. A mound visit only. As Gray swings on this pitch, drives it to right field, back on the track and over The right fielder Perry's head. Stopping at second. Looked to be Morales. As that one maybe fooled both of the Copperheads runners here. A clean single for Will Gray off the wall. But Welker decided not to go home. Maybe a bit wary of Michael Perry's arm out there in right field, but now the base is loaded. And Isaac Armstrong up with a chance to do some real damage here. Still just one out in the top of the sixth and trailing 3-0. First pitch swung on and a foul tip into the catcher's glove, it looked like.
Yeah, and it looked like neither the third base coach or Connor Welker knew if that ball was going to get down or be caught by Perry. And better play it safe than sorry, especially with one out in the inning.
And certainly a guy you'd want in a big situation here, Isaac Armstrong. Already 4 doubles and a homer this year. 5 extra base hits, and one would go a long way here as he watches that curveball at a beautiful one that drops right into the top of the zone, and now an 0-2 hole. Lombardi looking to work back after allowing 2 walks and a single to load the bases here. 0-2 on the way, swing and a miss. A big second out for Harrison Lombardi. Isaac Armstrong is down on strikes for the second time. And now Louis Hill, the last hope here in the 6th inning for the Copperheads. And as you mentioned, they are on a bit of a rough patch of form here after starting 2-0, just 2-5 in their last 2 games, looking for a big win here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you got to imagine this is the biggest at-bat of the game right here. I mean, bases loaded, you had 1 out, now 2 outs in the inning after that Armstrong K. If you walk out of this inning empty-handed, that's going to be a big letdown for the team, and it's going to be tough going forward in the later stages of the game.
This one popped foul by Louis Hill. Singled his first time up and reached on a drop, strike 3, his second. 4 for 12 on the season, but looking to make an impact here. 1-1 on the way. Swing and a ground ball towards the diving shortstop. The throw is made. Went right over the pitcher Lombardi, and it looked like potentially the shortstop Hines came over to make the play. A full extension throw beats Louis Hill by a step. And the Copperheads do come up empty-handed here in the top of the 6th. We go to the bottom of the inning. Still a 3-0 lead here for the Regulators at Mount Island Charter High School. Back here for the bottom of the 6th inning, the Regulators weathering the storm there in the top of the 6th. Leave the bases loaded here, and now Cooper Hurts, the catcher, 0 for 2 on the night. Came into the game with 5 hits and 17 at-bats for a .294 average. And after a big home run by the third baseman Hernandez last time up to bring in all 3 runs, Regulators in a good spot here to potentially move to 6-2 on the season and keep hold of second place here in the SCBL.
Yeah, I mean, what a year they're having so far.
This one grounded towards Armstrong. He makes the play and the throw, but it is just in time. A little bit high for Louis Hill, but he comes down with it and hits the bag. To beat the runner hurts for the first out.
Yeah, what a play that was it by Hill over there at first base. Not only making the catch, but kind of a toe drag right there, keeping his toe on the bag. And showing off a little bit of wide receiver skills, just keeping the toe on the bag and for out number 1.
And now the right fielder, Perry. Potentially the biggest power threat for this Regulators team, has already hit 2 home runs on the season. 0-1 is way outside from Connor Paul, who's coming in relief and got out of the jam with 2 outs last time. Got Cooper Hertz to ground out for 3 in a row now. 1-1 on the way from the lefty is just low. Perry grounded out and struck out his first 2 times up. 2-1 on the way, swung on in a drive towards right field. Jones going over. He will make the catch just up against the wall.
Yes, that was a hard hit ball right there, but just stays in the yard. We see Jones be very active in right field tonight, having to make a lot of tough plays, especially towards the warning track.
Yeah, and certainly he's done a good job at using his range to get over there. Makes a nice play just up against the wall. And a good job at reading that ball to prevent an extra base hit. As now Jake Badoglio, the first base, a line out and a ground out in his first 2 appearances at the plate tonight. 1-0 here from Paul is in there for a strike. A good pitch on the high outside corner.
And Paul's been just what the Copperheads need to come out of the bullpen so far tonight.
This one swung on in another drive towards the right fielder, Jones, backing up and making the catch right up against the wall for a second consecutive time, and that will end the inning here. Through 6, the Regulators still hold a 3-0 lead here against the Copperheads. Back here for the top of the 7th inning and a new pitcher, as this one's popped up a mile high by the pinch hitter Staborski. Michael Perry makes the catch. Pardon, Staborski, the starting left fielder tonight, swinging at that first pitch against the new lefty Maxwell Moore. A 3.6 ERA and appeared in the last game between these two teams. A 12-8 win for the Regulators over the Copperheads, allowed just 6 hits and 2 runs over 5 innings, struck out 7 and walked 4. Second appearance of the season comes as a relief pitcher, and quickly got a flyout from Parker Staborski as Goldasich up to the plate, picked up a single his last at-bat for his second hit of the season.
And Moore, certainly a big frame on the bump, standing 6'4", 240. And you don't see many big lefties like that, especially in this league.
2-1 pitch swung on, and a bullet the other way just foul down the right field line. Goldasich could have had extra bases if that one lands a few feet over to the left side, but instead it'll be a 2-2 count. Goldasich has hit the ball hard tonight. Flew out his first time up and singled his last time. We'll have to get back in the box and find something against the big lefty Moore. The 2-2, swing and a miss. He got him with the away fastball. So after a near extra base hit, Goldasich instead down on strikes. And now Josh Jones, the right fielder, made some nice defensive plays up against the wall last inning.
Yeah, it looked like Goldasich right there with 2 strikes. He saw the fastball way too late, and by the time he swung, the ball was already way past him. And Moore starting out hot, 2 batters down.
As Josh Jones in a 1-1 count here against the big lefty Moore, looking for his 6th hit of the season. 5 for 24 on the season. And a 2-1 count here. Takes ball 3 outside, and now a hitter's count. A chance to keep the inning alive as Cody Spillman, the EH, due up next. And he takes ball 4 low. And a 2-out walk for Josh Jones. He's aboard for the first time tonight. And now Cody Spillman, a chance at his 3rd hit of the season and his first tonight. Grounded out and popped out in his first 2 appearances of the game. And facing Moore, swings at the first pitch, grounds it to short. The throw from Hines to first in time for the out, and that retires the side. The Regulators still holding on to a 3-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the 7th here. Back here for the bottom of the 7th inning. Regulators still holding on to that 3-0 lead, and they'll face Connor Paul once again out to face Daniel Schuta, the left fielder. A walk and a single his first 2 times up tonight. Ahead 2-0 here, and now 3-0. Paul will look to get dialed back in against the 6, 7, 8 hitters in the lineup, including Ryan Pruitt due up next and Trey Hernandez in the hole, who hit the go-ahead 3-run homer in the 5th inning to give the Regulators the lead here. There's a good strike there on the inside corner, will extend the at-bat. (3-1) in there for a strike. Now the count will run full.
As way to battle back right there from Connor Paul, down 3-0, make it 3-2. And we'll see if he goes back with the fastball.
Payoff pitch swung on in a drive, deep center field. Back on the track is Welker. He makes the play right up against the fence. Some more hard contact for the Regulators goes unrewarded. The Schuta, his perfect night on the plate, comes to an end with a hard fly out to center. And now Ryan Pruitt singled and reached on an error his last time up, which extended the inning and allowed Trey Hernandez to hit that go-ahead 3-run homer.
Yeah, and that ball was belted in the center field right there. Paul may be a little lucky that ball stayed in the yard.
This one also popped up, but it'll fly foul down the third base line for Ryan Pruitt. As featured as a leadoff hitter, but now in the 7 hole playing center field. Behind 0-1 here to Paul. Takes a breaking ball, but just misses that one. Pruitt 6 for 14 on the season, so having a pretty good start at the plate. Be heading to Indiana State next season. 1-1 on the way. Also misses low, and Connor Paul a little bit in disbelief here.
Yeah, those are 2 close calls back-to-back right there from the up.
Low stuff not been working. Now he goes back to the outside corner. Gets a strike there on the off-speed. So now a 2-2 count against one of the best JUCO players a year ago, Ryan Pruitt. 2-2 from Paul. Swung on and fouled over the screen. The count will stay even. 1 away here in the bottom of the 7th. The Regulators holding a 3-0 lead. The pitch is inside. Count runs full. We'll see if Connor Paul can put away the 2nd consecutive batter after reaching a full count. 3-2 on the way. High for ball 4. So after working back from a 3-0 hole to get Daniel Schuta to fly out. This time the hitter works back against him and draws a walk. And now the hero Trey Hernandez, after a home run his last time up, scored all 3 for the Regulators. Has hit the ball hard and played a good defense at the hot corner for these Regulators. As breaking for second and making it sliding is Pruitt. Shows off the wheels there, and Hernandez also picked up a hit against the Copperheads in their last meeting. Went 1 for 2 that particular night. Also 1 for 2 tonight. Pitch on the way, in there for Paul. Evens things back up at 1-1.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing this inning right here from Paul, is just keeping that runner at second base, not allowing a run in, as he has to help out his offense. Hasn't given him much help so far, but just keep this game in a manageable place.
Hernandez awaits the next offering. The runner breaks for third. The throw is not in time, and a double steal by Ryan Pruitt puts a potential 4th run for the Regulators just 90 feet away now.
Yeah, that's what I like to see right there from Pruitt, forcing the issue on the base paths. And now any ball in the outfield you have to imagine will score the run.
2-1 on the way, a swing and a miss. Hernandez maybe wanting that pitch back potentially. Now it'll be 2-2. If he can put it into the outfield, it will likely score the run from third, though. 2-2 swung on, and that one foul. Didn't quite reach the trees here at Mount Island, but Hernandez stays alive. 2-2 from Paul. Another swing and another foul ball by Hernandez. Went to the off speed there. Hernandez got a piece of it.
Yeah, and Paul just yet to find that put-away pitch against Hernandez in this AB.
Another 2-2. Swung on towards the second baseman, who's playing way in as Painter. And he gets the ground out to first for the second out. Pruitt does not advance from third. So now it'll go to Braden Moore. 0 for 1 and hit by a pitch his last time up.
Yes, we saw to have the infield in with Ryan Pruitt standing on third base as Painter having to make a play a little quicker than usual, but nonetheless gets the second out of the inning.
Now Moore, the DH, hitting ninth tonight.
And good block right there from Goldstead. She's going to be crucial, especially in this AB with the speed of Pruitt at third base.
1-0 from Paul is low and a big swing and a miss. Got him to chase what looked to be a breaking ball in. Swing and a grounder towards the third baseman Morales. Up and throwing, and the play is in time. Luis Morales, a nice backhanded play at the hot corner to end the 7th inning. We'll go to the 8th. Regulators still holding a 3-0 lead here. Back here for the top of the 8th inning and a first pitch strike. The new pitcher, Mason Brady. He'll be facing off against the second baseman, Painter. 1 for 2 on the night with a single and a pop out. This one driven towards third base. Hernandez up, and he fires for the first out. A nice play. A hard hit ball by Jacob Painter. Doesn't result in anything, though.
Yeah, as we'll see, Brady coming out of the pen looking for the 6-out save here As we saw Brady be a pivotal bullpen piece so far this season for the Regulators, came out of the bullpen in that big away victory against the Spinners earlier this season, and looking to make it a complete game shutout combined for the team.
As this first off-speed pitch to the center fielder Welker is high. 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout looking. As the Cox Mill product Welker swings through that one. Has quite a few Chargers products on the team, including Welker, tonight's starter Jack Lopez. 1-1 on the way from Brady, popped up, foul. That's now a 1-2 count for Brady. Next pitch on the way, just inside. He looked like a sinker there that ran down and just barely missed the upper part of the zone. Now a 2-2 count. Welker looking for his first hit of the night here in his third at-bat. Once again, Brady goes back to the off-speed and just misses.
Yeah, it's a tough take right there from Welker, especially with 2 strikes in the AB, but runs the count full here.
Brady ready with the payoff pitch. Swung on in a little chopper towards the pitcher's mound. Back up and throwing. Not in time is Brady. A strike to first base. Badoglio held onto it, but not before Connor Welker got there first. And an infield single will bring up Luis Morales. 1 for 2 on the night with a single, a walk, and a ground out.
And that's all the Copperheads need right there. I mean, just runners on base any way possible. Connor Welker legs out an infield single, and runners on base is runners on base no matter how you get them.
13 hits on the season for the Copperheads, number 13. And he takes this first pitch inside. Did not record a hit last night, but did reach base for the 6th time in 6 games. Has already racked up 4 multi-hit games, including 4 for 5 against the Athletics in the second game of the season.
Yeah,
his second appearance, yeah.
He had quite the night the first time these two teams played with 3 hits, a double, and 2 RBIs. And just a guy, night in and night out, he's going to get on base, he's going to get base hits, and just, when you look up leadoff guy in the dictionary, Luis Morales comes up for you.
2-1, and now Welker again breaking for second. We've said that before, but once again Morales fouls it off, and Welker will go back. Welker certainly looking to be aggressive on the base pass, and when you're down at this stage of the game, you certainly have to be. Now a 2-2 count here for Brady. Pitch on the way to Morales.
And that one came up up at us in the press box here, as have to readjust the camera.
We apologize for this. It should be back now, just a little bit wonky though, of course.
Blame Luis Morales, not us.
But it'll be a full count here, back to Morales. 3-2 on the way. He did not go. This count appears to now run full. So they'll do it again. Morales holding off on that one.
Actually,
it appears it will be actually ball 4. It was a full count as we thought originally. So Morales aboard for the 3rd time tonight, the 2nd walk, and his 6th walk on the season. Brings up Will Gray, 1 for 3 on the night. Singled his last time up for his 8th hit of the season. And his 8 for 23 on the year. Tonight's 2-hole hitter. Big swing and a miss at that first pitch from Brady.
Yeah, certainly a healthy hack right there from Gray, but you have to imagine already with a single on the night and an inning-costing double play early in the game will look to fare better here.
Gray watches that one from Brady, who looked for the chase pitch low. Now 2 aboard. As Welker stands on second. And Morales at first. 1-1 count to Gray. Outside, both runners advance. As that one gets back to the backstop. So now 2 runners in scoring position. The first chance for the Copperheads to make some noise. Now their first run stands just 90 feet away. And their second 180 feet away.
Yeah, and a much-needed mound visit right here from Copperheads. I mean, just calming his guy down on the bump. And this is very unlike what we see Mason Brady coming in to tonight. Maybe a little jitters here as it's a tight ball game, and we'll look to shut things down.
We'll see if that'll calm the nerves of Brady in a big spot here. You think if he can get through this inning, it may make the difference here in this Wednesday night matchup. Next pitch is a 2-1 and a big swing and a miss there from Gray. Looks like it went back to the off speed. And now a 2-2 count. A big turning point here in the top of the 8th inning. Pitch on the way. A breaking ball just misses upstairs.
As another tough take right there from Will Gray. Runs the count full here.
Looking for some important outs here. Payoff pitch. Low for ball 4, and it loads the bases. 3 straight Copperheads have now reached. And Isaac Armstrong up again here in an important spot. Bases loaded once again, and another chance to do some damage.
Yeah, I mean, we've said it many times this season, but if you're going to want any guy in a big pressure-packed situation for the Copperheads, it's going to be Isaac Armstrong. I mean, he's been raking so far in the season. Most extra base hits on the team, and you have to imagine probably the second best hitter on the team so far this year behind Morales. And a big spot to really hit this game open for the Copperheads.
Yeah, nearly identical to the situation 2 innings ago. As Welker reaches on a walk, Morales reaches on a walk, and Will Gray reaches on a single, and this time Welker reaching on a single, and Morales and Gray reaching on walks. Nearly the same situation as Armstrong was up with those 3 on base and 1 out in the 6th inning. Back up here and fouls this one, a hot shot foul down the third base line. If Armstrong can avoid the inning from ending, it'll be Louis Hill up next. Armstrong 0 for 3 on the night with 2 strikeouts, looking to make a big difference here as that one runs way in from the big righty Mason Brady.
Yeah, Brady saw that Armstrong was earlier on the first pitch, had a first pitch swing, goes back with the off-speed stuff now, but misses inside.
1-1 taken high by Armstrong. Next pitch on the way. And that time he drops it in there for a strike on an off-speed. A 2-2 count now.
Yeah, the off-speed has been what's working so far in this AB. You have to imagine he goes back to it here.
Deuces wild to Armstrong. The pitch is low. And it runs the count full once again. Bases loaded. And a full count here with 1 out in the top of the 8th inning. Copperheads looking to cut into the 3-0 lead for the Regulators.
Possibly the most important pitch of the night.
Most certainly so. 3-2 from Brady is high for a ball 4, and an RBI walk for Isaac Armstrong gets the Copperheads on the board here. It's a 3-1 ball game in the top of the 8th inning, and now Louis Hill will look to further close the gap, as Armstrong did a great job of not swinging at that upstairs pitch and gets rewarded for it.
Yeah, I mean, that could be tough. The upstairs fastball, especially when you want to be the man driving those RBIs, but keeps the bat on his shoulder and drives in the first Copperheads run of the evening.
As this first pitch nearly hits Louis Hill, could have been an RBI hit by pitch. Instead, it's just ball 1. As Hill awaits the next pitch from Brady. Swings on it right at the third baseman, Hernandez, who makes the catch. And he makes the double play unassisted. Gets to the bag before Morales off third and doubles him off. An unassisted double play by Trey Hernandez. The hero with the 3-run home run makes the double play to get out of the inning in the top of the 8th. And the Regulators hold on to a 3-1 lead here. It'll be the bottom of the 8th when we return. Back here in the bottom of the 8th inning after an outstanding unassisted double play by Trey Hernandez. Back here for the bottom of the inning as Luke Reichert up 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout tonight. The extra hitter and hitting 10th for the Regulators, looking for their 6th win in 8 games to start the season after going just 4-28 all of last year.
Yeah, after such a momentous double play by Hernandez at third base, you have to imagine the Regulators are going to be running off that for the rest of the night.
As this one's popped up foul, he'll have no chance at that one down the first base line, and a 1-2 count here. It looks like Connor Paul will stay in the game for this 8th inning. One, two on the way from Paul is way outside. So they'll do it again in a 2-2. Even count now. The pitch is taken high. Reichert stays alive, and the count moves to 3-2. Full count pitch is high for ball 4, and Reichert aboard for the 2nd time tonight. Now the lineup card turns over to Brandon Gibbs.
As Gibbs, a guy that's 0 for 3 on the night, Gunner, but really doesn't paint the whole picture, as he's 0 for 3, but I have to believe 2 or maybe even all 3 of those have been really hard hit balls, but just been right at somebody, especially that last one. That was a line out to center field.
As in fact, the top 5 hitters for the Regulators, Gibbs, Hines, Hurt, Perry, and Badoglio, a combined 0 for 15 on the night. But just 1 strikeout shows you they are putting the ball in play, maybe just getting a little bit unlucky with that one as the runner breaks for second. But the correct throw is made. Hill throws to second. But it looks like Reichert is safe anyway, as he got a good jump. Paul made the correct read to throw back to Hill, but not in time to get Reichert. Tag couldn't be applied by Armstrong. And now a 4th runner stands on second base. But first, the 0-1 to Gibbs. Paul goes back to that looping off speed, and that one does not catch the outside of the zone. So now a 1-1 count. Gibbs playing second base here for the Regulators tonight in the leadoff spot. 1-1 swung on and a drive to left field, but right at the left fielder Staborski, who makes the catch for out number 1. And once again, a hard hit ball, but no luck for these Regulators hitters tonight.
Yeah, I mean, what an unlucky night so far from Brandon Gibbs. I mean, he's been putting great barrel on the ball so far tonight, but just hitting it right at those Copperheads fielders. And unfortunate, I mean, the Regulators with that runner on second base and now 1 out in the inning, they're looking for a little bit of insurance, and we'll see if Mason Brady goes out for another inning of work of the ninth or what they'll do out of the bullpen.
Now Ryan Hines, the shortstop, is stepping off. Is Connor Paul. Keeps Reichert in check at second and 1 away here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Still a 3-1 lead for the Regulators, although the Copperheads did get 1 back in the top of the frame. As that first pitch is taken low. Hines 0 for 3 on the night, a ground out, a fly out, and another ground out his last time up. Will certainly be looking to make an offensive impact here and potentially bring home the 4th run of the game for the Regulators. The next pitch swung on and missed. Went to the elevated fastball there. Hines making the trek all the way from Central Connecticut State to play in the SCBL this summer, and he takes that pitch outside for ball 2.
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting dynamic of the Regulators, is a lot of their guys are from out of town, something we don't really see with a lot of teams. And we heard earlier that a lot of these guys are living in the same house together, as you have to imagine that kind of builds that team camaraderie, especially earlier in the season.
And certainly an impressive way to get so easily acclimated with your teammates, especially with guys coming from all over the country to come play in the SCBL, and certainly the Regulators have done a great job at that thus far. As a 2-2 pitch on the way here from Paul. Watched by Hines for ball 3. The count will run full. Now the payoff pitch from Paul to Hines. Swung on and up the middle for a base hit. Rounding third is Reichert. He will come around, but the throw is not in time. A rocket throw from Welker in center. Nearly got the runner Reichert, but he had enough speed to score before the play was made. And a 4-1 lead here for the Regulators in the bottom of the 8th. An RBI single off the bat of Ryan Hines.
Yeah, what a throw that was from Welker in center field, but kind of counted out from Luke Reichert's speed, rounding third, coming home, got a good jump on that single right there. And that's the insurance that just the Regulators needed, especially going into the top half of the 9th inning after a shaky top half of the 8th. And Connor Paul will stay on the bump, but he'll try to shut things down here and keep this game close for his offense. As kind of interesting dynamic we were touching on earlier with the Spinners down. They're down even more now, making a 9-3 Wampus Cats lead out in Albemarle. So the Spinners looking maybe losing their 3rd game of the season.
Yeah, and certainly over the last few games, it's been run rule or get run ruled for the Spinners, who won, I believe, 14-2 last Friday against the Corn Dogs before dropping a 16-2 game against the Owls on Saturday, but have come back this week, won over these Copperheads down at Coxmill High School 13-0 before winning 10-0 last night, facing off against the Concord A's. Have jumped out to another great start, but could be on the edge of going 7-3 through their first 10, and maybe presenting an opportunity for these Regulators to jump into first place in the SCBL. Hardly believable after the season they had last year, but what a start it's been for them.
I mean, that's one of the beauties of summer baseball. You have a new team every single summer, and that can attribute from going worst to first or first to worst.
Now an 0-2 to the catcher, Hertz. Swung on the off-speed, down for a base hit. Staborski not able to make that play quite work.
And looks like that might be the final for Connor Paul on the mound tonight.
And he did a great job tonight out of the bullpen. Allowed the first run in relief. Looks like his inning will come to an end after 3 full innings of work, just the 1 run. Both runners responsible for, though, at first and second when we come back.
And sorry for the technical. Between the innings, our camera got hit by a errant throw by the new pitcher on the bump for the Copperheads, as that being Caden Haywood from Western Carolina University, and he'll try to keep things close in the top half of the 9th inning, as that one is in there for a strike. Excuse me, it's bottom 8, and it's an 0-2 count, 1 out in the inning here, as Haywood coming into a tough situation with runners on first and second base. As 0-2 on the way, ball is in the dirt, as looks like we got that situated for you guys, and you saw Gunner trying to figure that one out, kind of an unfortunate situation.
Tough spot to be in. It looked like it just hit the camera. Not directly, thankfully. Broke the tripod off of the camera a little bit, so we got it back working, though, and we'll see if Haywood can keep it in front now, as it's a 1-2 count. And that pitch is low. So it's a 2-2 count of the right fielder Perry, who's 0 for 3 tonight. A ground out, a strikeout, and a flyout. Two on the way, a swing and a foul ball by Perry, who's one of the bigger power threats on the team. 2 home runs already, and certainly has a nice arm out in right field. Has deterred a few runners from running on him so far. We'll see if he can make an offensive impact here. A 2-2 count, runners on first and second, and 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Pitch from Haywood, swung on and fouled back.
feels like we're a magnet behind here, behind the home plate. I mean, all the foul balls coming right at us in this inning.
As it'll be another 2-2 count. Perry looking for his first hit of the night. Follow up the 2 singles. As this one's grounded towards short. Back and throwing to third for the force out is Armstrong. A nice play there to get the lead runner for the second out.
Yeah, good heads-up baseball IQ right there from Armstrong at short. Not only making the backhanded play, but throwing it over to Morales at third base. Getting the lead runner, and now 2 outs here at the bottom of the 8th.
And with that force out, it'll be Jake Bodaglio up the 5-hole tonight and playing first base for these Regulators. A line out, a ground out, and a fly out. Another one of these guys that's hit the ball hard so far. We'll see if he can get rewarded for it, though. As Hines stands at second, Hertz at first. Or pardon, Hertz at second, Perry at first, after Hines was the victim of that force out at third base. Bodaglio looking to drive them in and ahead 2-0 here against Caden Haywood. Next pitch on the way is upstairs for ball 3. As we've just reached the 2-hour mark on the game. 3-0 count from Haywood, and he fires a strike in there. Keeps the count alive.
And much needed right there from Haywood, just trying not to get things too out of hand in this inning. Keep it close for the offense in the top half of the 9th.
Next pitch on the way is in there for an outside strike, so the count stays alive again. Now a full count with 2 outs here. Regulators still lead at 4-1. Looking for some much-needed insurance here in the bottom of the 8th. Full count pitch, both runners going, and a strikeout. Sends Bodaglio down. 0 for 4 in the night for Bodaglio, and the Regulators add one more, though. In the bottom of the 8th inning, it's now a 4-1 ball game. Copperheads' last chance in the top of the 9th, and we return.
Back here, top of the 9th inning, as the Copperheads trail 4-1 and have a little bit of a mountain to climb, Gunner.
Yeah, certainly do. And it'll be a nice start to this inning if Mason Brady can get the leadoff hitter Staborski, who's 0 for 3 on the night. Sikorsky still yet to get a hit in 5 plate appearances. Has flied out twice and struck out looking his second time up. Facing Brady, looking for the 6-out save. The 1-2. Tipped into the glove, strike 3. And Parker Staworski down on strikes. Mason Brady, his first strikeout. Now brings up the catcher Goldasich. 1 for 3 on the night. Fly out, a single and a ground out for the Copperheads catcher. 1 away here in the top of the 9th for Brady. First pitch is in there for a strike, a good breaking ball, and he's done that to great effect here, really challenging these hitters with these high fastballs and high breaking balls as well. 0-1. Good block here from Hertz. It'll be 1-1.
Yeah, and Brady looking already early season, a reliable guy to the bullpen, and a 6-inning save would be quite the feat tonight.
1-1 is low. Brady looking for a much more simple go of it this time, as he allowed a couple walks last inning, but got out of it with the unassisted double play over there by Trey Hernandez at third, as it was Louis Hill who lined out directly to the Regulators' third baseman, who then beat Luis Morales back to the third base bag for the 3rd out. Now a 3-1 count to Goldasich, and it's a walk. So Goldasich aboard for the 2nd time tonight. It'll bring up Josh Jones, who walked his last time up. Looking to keep the game alive here. 1 on and 1 out in the top of the 9th inning. Jones 5 for 24 on this young season. Steps away from this first pitch. A looping breaking ball. Breaks towards the plate. Lucky for Jones, who nearly maybe got hit by that one. Now it's a 1-0 count. Next pitch on the way is low. And maybe some control issues here for Brady in this final inning.
Yeah, we do see that activity in the Regulators bullpen kind of heating up over there, and a much-needed out right here and a much-needed strike from Brady.
Next pitch is fumbled with, but Hertz keeps it in just enough range here. But now a 3-0 to Josh Jones.
It's tough right here from Brady. You don't want to give him kind of a meatball down the middle that he can tee off on, but you also can't walk him right here, as he needs to rein in the fastball.
Next pitch is low for ball 4, and a 4-pitch walk puts 2 on and 1 out here. As now it'll be the EH Cody Spillman. 0 for 3 on the night, 2 ground outs and a pop out. In a critical situation here for Mason Brady. If you can get this 2nd out, it'll go a long way towards that potential 7th win of the season. Or pardon, 6th win of the season in 8 games. And a potential first place berth at that, as it doesn't look too great for the Spinners as of right now.
Yeah, and I mean, as we mentioned earlier, with Spillman now up to bat, only 2 hits coming into tonight, only in the first game, and what a better way to kind of get things rolling in the later stages of early summer than a hit right here and keep the torch moving for the Copperheads. They just need base runners any way they can get them tonight.
Spillman takes the first pitch for a ball against Mason Brady. Next offering, in there for a much-needed strike. Now a 1-1 count to the 8-hole hitter Spillman. Next pitch on the way, and a throw back to first. Not in time, barely got back, did Josh Jones. And a quick throwback there from Cooper Hertz nearly got Josh Jones picked off for the 2nd out. Instead, it's a 2-1 count here. 2 runners on here for Spillman. Pitch on the way, and he goes back to the breaking ball for strike 2.
The fastball hasn't been working, so he's had to rely on the off-speed stuff, and it's getting out of a jam right here. As we'll see if he doubles up on it on a 2-2 count. Looking for the all-important 2nd out here.
Pitch is fouled off. Spillman just put the bat out there and stays alive here. Two. Called strike 3.
That was nasty right there from Brady.
And he goes back to that all-important curveball and drops it in there perfectly for a backwards K against Spillman. Now just one away, and Jacob Painter, the final hope for these Copperheads. The last thing standing between the Regulators and a potential first place in the SCBL thus far. First offering blocked there by Hertz. Painter did single his first time up, also popped out and grounded out, so he's 1 for 3 on the night, is the second baseman. 2 hits on the season in 17 at-bats. 1-0 from Brady, and he goes back to the curveball, doesn't get the strike that time, so it'll be 2-0.
Yeah, and you have to imagine if you're Painter right here, you're keeping the bat on your shoulder until you see a strike from Brady, as a little bit elusive trying to get that first strike in this AB.
Painter ahead 2-0 here, and he takes another off speed for a strike. Mason Brady heavily relying on that curveball and slider mix to get him through this inning thus far. Hasn't really been able to locate the zone with the heater so far. We'll see what he does here in the 2-1. The pitch swung on in a fly ball. Behind the shortstop and making the catch is Hines. And that will be your ball game. The Regulators get a 4-1 win here at Mount Island Charter High School. And with a potential spinner's loss later tonight, it could be first place in the SCBL. What a story it's been for this team.
What a story and what a game for the Regulators. I mean, early on it looked like a pitcher's stalemate, and Trey Hernandez was knocking on the door with that 3-run homer. And yet another home win for the Regulators. They just keep on rolling on.
Hernandez the hero tonight, a 3-run homer in that 5th inning, and an all-important solo double play effort. Closed it out in the 8th inning, and the Regulators hold on for a 4-1 win here. What a story it's been, and thank you for joining us tonight from Mount Island Charter High School. We'll be back in action this week with some more action, particularly the Copperheads game, of course. And with the Spinners currently trailing the Wampus Cats 10-5, it looks all the more likely that the Regulators will exit the night in first place here in the SCBL standings as we be back in action on Friday when the Copperheads host the Statesville Owls. But for my broadcasting partner, Zane Metz, I'm Gunter Schroeder signing off from Mount Island.